Every man's got a breaking point, and mine actually came at work rather than at home. And when I think back now, it never should have happened. So I was working in the agencies, and my boss was one of the directors, and he was just a nightmare. He was always pushing, he was always belittling, and he was out there, it seemed, just to make everybody's life a misery. But I just sucked it up. I took it for months and thought, don't rock the boat, get your head down, take the money, pay the bills, and it's nearly Friday and all that stuff. And when I think back now, I don't think I exploded. I think I eroded. Because it was after months of that, it was a Monday when I walked in, and he was there, and he started at 8:30. And I thought, I've had enough. And I walked over to my desk, and I literally got hold of it and flipped it over. And I said to him, you can shove your job where the sun don't shine. And I walked out. Now that wasn't about bravery on my part, that was about me not addressing it earlier on. So when I'm out on the street, I won't lie, it felt amazing for about 10 minutes. And then reality kicked in, responsibilities, bills to pay, all the things you need a job for. And I thought, what am I going to do? And I've been craving freedom. But there's this gap between fear and freedom. Do I get a job, or do I go out there on my own and do my thing? And I thought, I can't go back into the fire. I can't go back into employment. I hated working for other people. So I thought, well, the only thing I can do is start my own business. And I knew nothing about business. I've been employed all my working life. I didn't know how you start a business, how you get clients, what you do. But I thought, that's my only option if I want that freedom. So that's what I did. I went out there, got my first client. Client became 2, became 5, became 10. And I built up my 6-figure online business, which I still have today, 2 decades later. And that ultimately afforded me the freedom that I wanted. So it worked out. But that's not the point. The point is that when I got in there and I flipped that desk over, it had gone too far. Because a tipping point's a warning sign, it's not a goal. And I'd let it go way too far. And why had I done that? Because I didn't want to have those uncomfortable conversations. I didn't want to go to my big boss and say, this is what's going on. Because I didn't want to rock the boat, didn't want to get into a fight, didn't want to feel uncomfortable, so I didn't have it until it got to the point where the lid came off. And that can happen in any part of life. It's not just your job, it can be your relationships, it can be your health, your money. But when we don't talk about it, that's when it all goes wrong. And we're buggers for it, us Gen X men, because we think, we just got to get on with it. Well, men, we can't talk about this stuff. You know, bottle it up, crack on, be the ATM, be the taxi driver. But nobody knows what's going on in here. Until we tell them, until we're big enough to have those conversations with people to say, stop the boss, nobody knows. And that's the danger of it, that we don't have these conversations. So going forward, after that incident, shall we say, I've always done that. I've always had those uncomfortable conversations with people. And Jules and I have them with each other. When things are going a bit sketchy, we say we've got to have a chat, an honest chat. And here's the thing, I promise you this from years of experience, 99 times out of 100, they're never as bad as you think. We build them up to think, it's easy not to say anything, but when you have them and you come away from them, you go, I should have done that ages ago. So something to think about. And I've had to do that, as I say, in business as well, in relationships. Look, guys, if it comes to crunch time after an uncomfortable conversation, it should have come there sooner anyway. But you can't not have them, yeah? So that's what today is all about. I was thinking about the job and the business and where it is and stuff. So how about you? You feeling it? Have you felt it? Not just in your job or in business, if you have a business. Are you feeling it? And are you thinking, I need to have a conversation with somebody? That's why I started this channel for. I know it's not a private place, it's not like my one-to-one coaching, but it's hopefully giving us a voice as Gen X men to say, I hear you, and this is my situation, and what would you do about it? You know, you don't have to be specific about it, but you can just say, yeah, I need a bit of that right now. And that's what it's all about. Because what we can't do is go through our lives just with this weight and this pressure building up. Because what's the point of that? When off the back of one simple conversation, everything could change. So there you go, guys. No more tipping points and no more flipping desks for me. How about you?